You go, Bill.
Welcome. What are we doing again? Oh, yeah, the Cooler
Welcome.
Heads podcast. Welcome, y'all, to the Cooler Heads podcast with my co hosts, Brett Pretzel and our little buddy, Adam Muffitch.
I don't have sunglasses, and neither do you, Bill. Weird.
Say what?
I'm gonna wear glasses because I look like utter cow shit.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm going to wear glasses because I look like dog shit.
Yeah,
Actually, I was going to say, I recommend you wear glasses too.
I think
yes,
I look good.
I look good except for my eyes. It looks like I've been up all night partying. I have not. I just didn't sleep at all. I don't know. My father-in-law came in yesterday, and then on top of that, my
I
wife.
came into town to visit.
Yeah, he lives in Long Island.
Hmm.
So he's you know in for the weekend, hanging out with the kids and stuff, and yeah, and then we've had an eventful weekend on the block. Um, Someone got in some trouble for some drinking in a place that they weren't supposed to.
Hmm. Was that your
Yeah,
wife? Or,
no, no, no,
uh,
not me, neighbor. Yeah, there's so much drama on this block. It's hysterical. Someone got drunk the other day,
is it like a
and
block full of Karens?
yes. So someone
Hmm.
someone got drunk the other day and uh, left a person's house, drove away, and then ended up going into a brick wall in the back of someone's yard.
Hmm.
And, you know, I love small suburbanite communities. I really
Mm,
do. I like how they're laid out. I like the cookie cutter homes, the HOAs, everybody's house has to look the same. I like all that. But
mm.
also what comes with that is like these mobs of Karen, a gaggle of Karens,
Yeah,
if you
it's like
will.
the Desperate Housewives.
Yeah. Yeah. And they have like these I don't know, um, like little inner worlds or inner workings to them where you have these cliques maybe and like this, I don't know, like pineapple parties, like all the weird stuff that people just don't see from the outside.
Definitely the weird with the weird clicks. Definitely. I know I
Hmm.
sound like Rain Man now, but it's
Definitely.
it's it's odd. It really is. I mean, I unfortunately I don't get not that I don't get along with anyone on the block because like I get along with everybody, but I
You
have
don't
nothing.
care
I
to
have
care.
nothing in common with these
Yeah.
cats,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. It's just like not your type of people. Yeah. I feel you.
You have
Like
any friendly neighbors yet that
I
you've talked to, Bill?
two of them, there's this older couple that walks by and they walk their dog like 4 times a day. I don't know if they're actually just walking their dog to walk the dog, or if they're just like, eyeing the neighborhood, keeping an eye on things. Cause like who walks their dog that much? So they're always walking their dog and like they seem to catch me when I'm outside a lot of times. Luckily they're cool, they just say, hey, what's up? Keep on walking. But I'll bet those people party. I mean, they seem like those older people that still like to party.
You
They
should
seem like an older type
you
of
should
partiers right
stop
there.
at the grocery store and keep a pineapple outside and hand it to them.
Flip it upside down
Yeah.
so they know
I,
what I'm all about.
I thought that's where the story was going. No, I just met some cat down the road. Um, Real cool guy, man. He does. I went to go drive down the road, and there's tons of kids on the block, and I was like, no, no, they're fine, because they kept driving in and out with their little battery powered four wheelers, and then I started talking
Mm.
with them, and man, he was really cool shit. He's like, man, what's it? Is this yours? It's like, yeah, he was talking about the vehicle. He's like, I can tint that. I was like, because that's what he does for a business. Place is called Tint Star, but yeah, man, he's just we started talking for like 15, 20 minutes. So occasionally I'll find someone around the block that I pseudo have something in common with. And I think I told you this before, personally, but like I'm in the midst of writing a TED talk. Um, I find out within the next 2 or 3 weeks if someone got
If
me
it's a
in.
go.
Yeah, and the TED Talk's going to be basically trades, versus college, and where the you know college isn't really the thing to do. I mean, the job placement rate is lower. It takes more money.
Mhm.
But I say this to say this. So when I used to have my service van, it was parked out front, obviously, of my house, and this kid on the bus with my daughter. She was like 2 years ago, almost three, so she was 12. And the kid asked her, she's like, "What does your dad do for a living?" Well, he does refrigeration HVAC. Well, there's no way he makes enough money to live on this in this development. And you know damn well that didn't come from his own little nugget. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah,
came
it came from his
from,
parents.
yeah, man. Like,
Yeah, because you know, as soon as they saw your van rolling into the neighborhood, they're like, "The fuck is that guy coming here to fix something?"
oh man, yeah.
Yeah. See, like I don't live in that rich of a neighborhood, but so I probably don't. My little neighborhood isn't really a suburbanite type of neighborhood. It's just kind of a sparse sort of little neighborhood built out in the sticks, I guess.
Mhm.
So I don't think I don't have that problem here. But if I lived in a rich, all white neighborhood like Brett, I'm sure I get
See,
slapped.
I kind of live in that richy rich neighborhood, but I think they could still tell that whatever, because there's like, $1 million house, $2 million house, and then I have like a small little ranch. So I live in like the smallest house in our neighborhood. So yeah,
So it's fitting.
it's fitting.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a deep dive into a subject that we should discuss at some point of I don't know what would you call it, like the idea that people have that the blue collar trades don't pay well enough,
I
Stigma.
you
think
know?
here's the thing though. Like I think there are a lot of companies that probably don't pay enough, but like
Yeah.
there are a lot of
100%.
companies and there's unions in that do, I think it's just you need to find your place and your value. Um and that's it. I was actually having a discussion the other day with Mr. Ed Janowak.
Oh, the Jabberwock.
Who's
Yeah.
that?
Head trainer from ACA.
Okay.
We were talking about the trade schools and that, like local community colleges and trade schools,
Mm.
and why kids and whatever young people struggle with knowledge as they're going through that. And we were talking about like the pay. The A lot of these guys that are teaching these schools, they're paying them like next to nothing. I mean,
Mhm.
not nothing, but like,
Not as much as
like,
you'd expect.
right. How can you take a guy that's very knowledgeable and is on top of his game, and how can you convince him to come out of a truck and,
Mhm.
teach if you're gonna pay him half or less than half of his salary? Doesn't make much sense. So what they're doing is they're taking people that are, you know, um, that are doing it for basically a hobby or because they love the trade or whatever, or they're like at the tail end of their career and they're not on top of the game, whatever. Um, but I think they are having a hard time finding top-notch trainers, and that's affecting people coming out of school.
Oh
In my
yeah. Yeah. I agree 100%. I mean, there was one point in time where this local it's local to me anyway, this little local college was looking for teachers, and at the time this is like probably I don't know 8-9 years ago. They had got my resume off Indeed and they contacted me and they're like, "Hey, would you like to come and teach?" and blah blah blah. And I was kind of flattered because I'm like, "Wow, that's like like I have arrived. I got people asking me to come teach at colleges now." And I really didn't know much at the time, and I was like, then I thought about it. I was like, that is kind of weird that they're asking me. I was like, yeah. And then looking into it, and they pretty much ask anybody who has 5 years experience. And then you get deeper into it, and you see the pay. And you're like, oh, I see what's going on here. They have just
Right.
low quality, somewhat uneducated teachers teaching other people. And these kids are going to the school for 20 grand a pop and getting taught by this guy who is like maybe a D- technician out in the field.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I was talking to when I was in DC, I was talking to one trainer. I can't remember if he was at a trade school or community college or what, but he was talking about the position that he took over, the old guy was like 80 years old, and he was still teaching people how to convert like standing pilot into spark ignition. That's like one of his, big claim to fame. And it's like nobody's even doing that shit anymore. There is no standing pilot.
Yeah.
Well,
What are
he
you, the
was-
Ron Burgundy of HVAC? Get with the times, man.
That's funny. No,
Oh,
it's
man.
true. It's true though. Like the because they won't pay because unfortunately, especially with a lot of different companies. So the company I work for is taken a way different stance now because I've showed them what needs to be done as far as training, as far as making sure you make everything available for them that's out there because that's one of the biggest frustrating factors is not being confident in your job, not being able to do your job
Mhm.
efficiently, and feeling like shit because you took way too long to do that job. And so trying to get good trainers is also hard because they can make usually when a guy's out in the field, you make as much money as you want because all the overtime is available, right? But like usually when you go into a corporate type position, you don't get paid what you were getting in the trade,
No.
you know.
And then you're
And
like,
so
well, other than the physical aspect of you don't have to work as hard, like there's almost maybe the physical aspect and the mental aspect of like, you feel reward for being a teacher, a trainer now. Other than that, I mean, what's the motivation to do it? Take a pay
unle-
cut and
unless
sit in
you
a
really
chair.
love what you do, right?
Hmm.
yeah, you want to give back to the industry.
Like a while back, Copeland was looking for a trainer, and I was thinking like, well, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I was like, what the hell? It wouldn't hurt. I just threw my hat in the ring, and never got a follow up phone call from anybody. But uh, I did hear like what the base pay rate was for a training position, and it was somewhere between like, and obviously this probably varies depending on your qualifications, your negotiating skills, blah blah blah. But the whispers in the wind were somewhere between 75 and 85 grand a year to start off as the trainer, and that's probably if you really schmooze them and you do really good and you got a degree or whatever. And I was like, wow, that's less than I thought. I mean, easily make that in
See,
more
I'm
than that
kind of
field.
I'm working through that right now. I just got an email saying I should have a contract sometime next week
Sweet,
selling my company. So, and I'm
man. I
trying
don't
to
know if
move over
I might
into
be more
that.
excited for it than you.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited, but I'm trying to move over into that like corporate type world.
The nerd
But
world.
I'm very, very picky about what I'm gonna do. I want to do something that kind of pushes the envelope a little bit, So,
As
but
far
like
as
I'm
far as
gonna,
what?
um, as far as like kind of being industry changing, making an impact on the entire instead of like right here the motto or whatever tagline, if you will, of my company is changing the world one furnace at a time. I always like went into the aspect like do the best job you possibly can. You're gonna make things a little bit better,
Hmm.
but it's a freaking slow climb. Changing the world one furnace at a time. There's a lot of fucking furnaces in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
I was originally we have a development team now that basically is taking a lot of our curriculum and making it into online training using a certain platform. And one of the guys that was supposed to be helping me with stuff, why I hired him because he can basically do a lot of the same stuff that I do, except for he does it for the smaller refrigeration sized equipment and knows how to work a video camera, knows how to edit videos. I was like, man, this would be awesome. Like you could do HVAC stuff, I could do the bigger refrigeration stuff. We can work together and collaborate. And then safety needed them, so
And
now
what happened?
safety kind of commandeered them because
Oh,
they saw what I was doing with the. So I if I'm sure, I think I show both of you guys, but if you guys aren't aware, so I do a series for Coolsys called Ask the Pros. Basically, it's an email address that they can email any question to me, but they can also they can request videos to be made. So I have a couple videos that I put together. How to leak check, how to change a oil separator element, um, how to check superheat, how to connect to an E2. So I go out to a site, usually grab a younger kid to help me so he can do the work while I film and narrate. And I put it out for all Cool's employees. It's on a private server, and I like I said, I was supposed to have help, but safety saw what I was doing, and they're like, we want to do like the same thing you're doing, but we want to do it for safety. Can you help us do it? I was like, not really. I mean, I don't have the time, and unfortunately, when I made my budget, I was anticipating this guy from the development team was going to be helping me out with that, and that's no longer what's happening.
Nice. Nothing like a good old wrench in the plans, eh?
I should have just put someone in my budget this year. That's what I should have fucking done.
Well, live and learn. I mean, from the outside looking in, all the stuff you told me and what's going on and what's changing and what's moving forward, it sounds like you're really just crushing it over there.
I'm trying.
I'm proud of you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Everybody should be, because I think you're changing that place for the good. That's why you get to live in an all-white neighborhood, an upscale neighborhood.
Well, that's what I was going to say before. It's called Light Farms where I live.
I don't know why I call it an all-white neighborhood, by the way.
Oh, no, but they jokingly refer to it. That's actually called White Farms.
Oh, nice. Well,
Brett's
maybe
a
we won't.
trashy neighbor.
Yeah.
He's the guy that has the couch in the front lawn.
Yep. You're the guy that all the neighborhood neighbors are like, don't let your kids go over to that house.
It's been said. Have you Googled my house? Did you see the couch?
I should.
Do you mow your front lawn and find a car?
Actually, I don't, because that's covered in the HOA. They mow the front lawn for us.
Man, when I bought my house, there was a thing in the contract that said something about an HOA, and I was like, man, I don't know if I can handle an HOA.
Yeah.
And then I moved in. I found out it's just something they put in all the contracts, like just in case there's one in place. But there wasn't one in place, so I had nothing to worry about. But since we're on the subject of like work and stuff, I had sort of a development, and I don't remember if we really talked about it on this particular podcast, but I was in the process of switching companies over the last like 2 weeks, right? It's probably like a month of everything, from the decision of like me leaving the company, finding a new company and saying, yes, I'm going to go with this company, putting my 2 weeks in, right? All happened within a span of about the last 3 to 4 weeks. And during this process, I made a deal with myself in my own mind. I was like, I can't keep jumping companies. I don't like changing companies. I just want to find a home and retire. And part of my thought process during this entire thing, because I suffer from like analysis paralysis sometimes, where I just overthink and overthink and overthink. And I got to wondering if maybe, at least part of the problem is me and my, like I'm trying to find the perfect company. Like my standard is so high, I just can't find the perfect company. So I just go there and I work for a year and I switch companies because I'm just not happy. And maybe part of it is me. So I was like, I'm going to go into this new company with a whole new mindset of just gratitude, appreciation. I'm going to embrace everything, right? And just take it head on and just be the best I can be. And then my current company made me an offer I couldn't refuse, so I'm staying. And but now I've decided, like, I'm gonna sort of pretend like I left and this is a whole new company. I'm gonna embrace this new, and it's somewhat of a new position, but honestly, it's not really a new position. I'm just gonna go into it with a new mindset and like embrace everything as if I were in a new company. Like I'm gonna try to have a more positive outlook, be gracious for the things that I have here. Like my biggest beef has always been, I work on so many different things, so many different pieces of equipment. It's hard for me to become a master of any of them. Like yesterday, I went from working on a bun toaster to like this giant 7-foot 8-barrel slushy machine. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing on this thing, dude. Like, and it makes me feel real dumb, but I was like, I just embrace it. No, not yet. I'm getting closer to it because I can't get service manuals from tech support. And tech support, honestly, like it's like their first day on the job. or something. They're telling me like all the stuff out of the operations manual, and I do all that. I test the brick solution. I'm testing the water, the CO, like all the other things are like, well, it's got to be this, got to be that, and it's got to be this. And they're like, well, what about your refractometer? Is that out of alignment, or did you calibrate that? And I'm like, yeah, it's calibrated. Like, but it's a hard learning curve. And like I told my company, since there's no training available right now on slushy machines that I can find anywhere, not even from this very manufacturer, I was like, this is going to be a hard learning curve. But again, I'm embracing it. I'm trying to find all the materials I can, going through all the Facebook groups,
See,
digging up guys, phone numbers, finding
it
people.
was the same crap I went through with Daikin. They got all pissed off at me because I wasn't trained on the residential VRF.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And I'm like, okay, where's the training in Chicago? We don't have training in Chicago. It's like, well, then what the fuck are we talking about here? Like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Like this. No, not to cut you off.
No, it's just I'm done.
This slushy manufacturer, I went to them. Hey, you know what? I've worked on little tiny like countertop margarita machines, which is by no comparison the same. And this thing it's massive. It's like one of these machines on steroids. I said, I need training on this. And they're like, well, go to our website, go to the support and resources button, and right there you can enroll in our online training course. I'm like, fucking great. So I go through all that. They accept me in the little online training course, and I go through the videos. I'm looking and looking and looking. Nothing on this particular machine. The only thing they have are the basic operational videos of how to clean it, how to fill it up, how to do this, how to do that. I'm like, nothing about fixing it, diagnosing it, how it actually operates, what it should be doing, like nothing like that. So it's basically an hour and a half wasted watching videos that are just pointless.
Now, did you say that you now that you are staying, or did you? Because I know you had aspirations of actually teaching and training. Are they letting you starting to do more of that now that you're staying?
Not at the moment. No,
Okay.
there's no immediate plans for any sort of in-house training program yet. So, but right now, honestly, like that's. But I will say, like, the owner of the company told me, he's like, I want you to be the guy that we go to when there's stuff that nobody else knows how to fix. I want you to be the guy that goes and figures it out. I'm like, I can deal with that. Like, I kind of like that, like the Dr. House problems. Like, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I like problems like that. So that's a hope. And then
It's rewarding when you're able to fix that,
yeah, and I get calls from a couple of the guys in the field that they ask me things, and because I'm more familiar with all the equipment in these locations, so it's kind of moving towards at the very least, somewhat of an educational position, but no official name tags yet. Nothing in the mail.
Adam, and I heard you right? You said you're selling your company, or you're going to?
Fingers crossed, yeah.
So what are you going to be doing then?
I have 2 potential job opportunities in mind, which I'm not going to name any names, but one of them, it was funny because we had the conversation about me coming on board, and there was like revenue discussion, blah blah blah. I command a high pay because of my experience, this and that, and then I kind of dropped it and I kind of gave up on that one. And dude, I wasn't planning on doing this, but like I was having a discussion with the owner, and he brought up revenue again, and I just kind of I pulled the whole, you know what? I'll come and work for you for free for 6 months to prove my value.
Damn.
And it was like a mic drop, and he just like kind of stared at me, and he was shocked that I said that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It was a weird conversation. Like I said, it wasn't planned, but yeah. And I said, let me worry about my money, and I'll just prove to you that I have value and I could provide your company with value.
And then in 6 months, they're going to get everything out of you. I'm like, yeah, not really working out.
Yeah, he's going to break my back and kill me. In 6 months, I'll be dead and on the street.
and then all the money you got from the sale of your company is going to be gone. And
Yeah, probably. It's probably a stupid move, but what can you do?
I mean, that's a ballsy move. I'll give you that.
Yeah, sometimes you got to be ballsy. Although I was thinking about it because this is a company I would love to work for. I would love the opportunity to work alongside some of these people. Uh, and I could see, like, I just like after I did it, um, I could see somebody asking me, 20 years from now, how did you get to where you're at? And you could go back and revisit that story. Honestly, I just told the dude I'd fucking work for him for free.
That's funny because that's one of those stories that a lot of people, I feel like a lot of motivated people wish they could say. Like, it's a cool story to me. Like, it's an old school way of doing it. Like, I mean, if you can afford to do something like that, fucking jump in. Like, are you hesitant about hiring me? Well, fuck, I'll come work for you for free.
Yep.
You see what I can bring to the table. There's
We'll
no more
see.
hesitation on their
Yeah,
end.
we'll see. But 2023 is going to be, if everything works out, it's going to be life changing for me. Like everything's moving in a different direction.
See, I'm telling you, I've been telling you for a while now. Exit strategy, man. Exit strategy.
Well, I'm not leaving HVAC, but I am leaving the truck.
Yeah. And you're leaving your business, which I'm pretty sure was just a fucking ball of misery for you. Just pressure and stress. And
it's funny. I was talking to another guy who's a year younger than me yesterday, and he owns I don't know, he said $12 to $15 million a year company, and he has 80 techs and everything, and he's just like super happy, and he's like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm having so much fun. I'm like, it's fucking miserable. I hate it. Like, I can't stand being in business. Like, and I don't know what it is. There's certain people that like the whole business game. I don't like the business game. I don't like having the shouldering the responsibilities of my own business is what I should say. You know what I mean?
Okay.
yeah, I couldn't do the business game. I tried it once. I went bankrupt, and it was honestly, I didn't go bankrupt because of my incompetence. I went bankrupt because I bought a franchise, and the franchise treated me poorly, and I got screwed pretty much. And they skyrocketed me into bankruptcy with all their fees and whatnot. But that was enough. A year in business for myself, like that was enough to realize, like, this is a fucking nightmare. I didn't even get to the point of hiring employees, but it was on the horizon, and I was like just looking at the logistics of it. And then later on in life, like watching Chris and Adam deal with, personally watching them deal with all the bullshit that goes with it. I'm like, yeah, fuck that, man. That is just too much. I just want to be good at being a technician. I have no motivation to be a business owner.
If I would have had this startup capital, because I mean, to do a commercial refrigeration, like where you actually have hands-on stuff, where you actually have racks and stuff, man, it would have been fucking awesome. But I just don't have the startup capital for that. I mean, I think if I would to do that, I think there's no way to say this without sounding like an asshole, but I think it would be successful. I think I'd have people wanting to come in, wanting to learn from me, but I just, unfortunately, I don't have
I don't even do anything with CO2, but I want to learn CO2 from you. I will give you $11 to teach me CO2.
I'll give you 12.
That's all I got right now in my pocket is $11.
I gotcha. You understand the expansion valves now?
The sizing charts, yeah.
So
the thing is like, what bothers me is like, I wanted to understand that, and honestly, I don't know when I'll ever use that information, but at the moment, it's once I understand it, even if I forget it now, going further down the road, like a year from now, if I need it, it's easier to get that knowledge back once it's kind of bouncing around in my nugget.
Well, you got to remember too, it's you'll remember it because it has, as we talked about before, has liquid, gets colder, right? The molecules become more compact and they essentially contain more energy. And that statement is shown in the engineering when you did the valve. 'Cause remember, we basically took the valve and we sized it with 100-degree liquid, and then we sized it with 50-degree liquid. So you physically saw what
And then we
happened, like,
changed the TD on the evaporator.
yep, yep,
Mhm.
and all the other stuff, and like how it affects it, which helps you understand. Like you talk about being Dr. House. Like you're basically being able to understand why things are doing what whenever the pressures and temperatures go up or down. With sizing the equipment.
Well,
And
that and
that's
I don't like to depend on like a supply house like for sizing all my stuff. Like I don't like that, and it's been a while since I've actually had to size anything because normally our customers buy their own equipment, but I would at least like to be able to at least double check their sizing. Whoever does their sizing, I have no idea, but I definitely don't want to go to a supply house and just have fucking Jim Bob from across the counter be like, yeah, you need a 3-ton for this 3-ton coil. I'm like, do you want any other information? Like, nah, we don't need any other additional information. Like he's just throwing numbers together that match. 3-ton condenser, 3-ton evaporator, 3-ton TXV. You're good to go.
yeah.
Sounds like somebody's squeezing a cat.
Yeah, you do have like a
Is it me? Maybe.
Wasn't me.
I'm sorry.
you have like
I
a
don't have a
prisoner
cat.
in the closet.
It could be my chair. Sorry.
Speaking of prisoners in their closet, you know what I got to do this weekend?
Hmm.
All this stuff behind me, I have to put back in boxes and move.
Why?
I'm painting my house, and I decided originally I was like, I'm not going to paint my office because I don't want to move all this stuff. I got it all set up and it looks pretty, and I don't want to move it. But then the lady came over who I had to help me pick out colors because I don't know how to pick out colors, me nor my wife. So I got a realtor who's a buddy of mine, and his wife does designing. And I was like, all right, come over. I'll give you a couple $100 to pick out what colors I should put in my house. And she did. And like, I loved all the color selections and everything. And we got to talk about my office. And she's like, you should just paint it. I'm like, I don't want to move my stuff. And then I was like, I'll tell you what can your painter do? And so I was like, I want 90s colors then. First, I brought up this like wacky 90s looking wallpaper. I'm like, can you do this with all the triangles and squiggly lines and stuff? She's like, no, that's a wallpaper, you idiot. I'm like, all right. So how about this? I want one half of my ceiling purple, the other half bright pink, and then I want my walls all teal, just like 90s fucking wrestler pants. That's the color selection I wanted. And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yes, very serious. Teal walls, purple ceiling, cut in half, purple on one side, pink on the other side. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about it. I just don't know if it's how it's going to look on the walls. Like imagine these walls, but like a lightish bluish teal color.
Can you just move the shit more towards the middle of the room and just plastic it?
It's really, really heavy.
Oh, okay.
Like those shelves are solid wood. Like those shelves alone were, I had to hire people to move those in here because I'm too weak to lift.
Plus, you got like 3 or 4 vintage TVs that probably weigh 30 pounds a piece.
Yeah. Yeah, the old built-in VHS tape, the TVs. Yeah.
That's funny. The one on the one TV on the lower right. I remember having TVs like that when I was a kid. No, you're right.
Oh, the other side.
Oh,
the one right there.
Yeah, like where you had the dial where it's like UHF and VHF.
Yep. That's an old GE from 78, I want to say. But it works. I can hook it up to my original Nintendo and play it. I just don't have none of them hooked up right now. It'd be really cool if I did get all these hooked up and like just have stuff randomly playing, like VHS videos or whatever, just randomly playing.
Oh man, like you know what? Oh man, you could take a whole bunch of like old school, and I say old school, a whole bunch of 80s 80s commercials and put it on a loop. Like
Dude, I've been
like
trying
Max,
to find VHS
like
tape.
Max Headroom and shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that fucking crazy guy.
I've been trying to find VHS tapes of 80s, 90s commercials on eBay, but I can't find any. Like I found one guy he supposedly had a lot of 5 VHS tapes of just recorded TV programs and everything. It's like sweet, commercials included. And he's like, it's just a lot. You get random. I don't know what's on them. I'm like, all right, deal. And I get them, and it's like fucking movies. It's just movies that he recorded off of TV. I'm like, these aren't programs. There's no commercials. Fucking wasted $35, man.
$35 for VHS tape.
Yeah. They're on the uptick, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we just threw out a bunch of crap.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I picked up a collection. I mean, and they're not all on the uptick. Don't get me wrong. It's just the real popular ones that are hard to find, sealed, vintage, whatever. And by uptick, I mean instead of being worth 9 cents, they're worth 72 cents now. It's not like don't go investing all your money into it.
VHS, yeah.
Yeah,
Damn
yeah.
inflation.
yeah. Stick to crypto. That'll get you far. We didn't even get on the subject of
Christmas.
what we were originally going to talk about.
Is that what we were really going to talk about?
I don't know. Really didn't have a plan going into this episode, but since it's around the holidays and I have my stepdaughter in town until tomorrow. She leaves tomorrow to go back to Mexico. We just celebrated like a early sort of small early Christmas with her so she can, experience it with us. And they got me thinking about it. Like Christmas to me now is so much different, obviously, than when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like the build up to it, the anticipation of it all. Like there's some anticipation of seeing your kid get presents and blah blah blah. But then I'll be honest with you, like every day when my kid's a brat, I'm like, I don't want to see you open presents. I don't.
Well, there's also stress because you're thinking like, oh, I didn't go Christmas shop. I didn't buy all this shit yet. I got to go do this. I got to do that. You know what I mean?
Thank God for Amazon because everything just comes right to my house.
True.
Like Bezos can have all my money for that convenience.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife handles usually all of everyone's presents. So the only one I really have to worry about is my wife and my wife's stocking.
Oh, see, if I handle pretty much 92% of the Christmas present buying stuff.
I have two in the last few years, Bill. But
yeah. Like if it was just like my wife would go like buy like 3 things because where she's from and how she grew up, Christmas really wasn't a big thing. And it wasn't like a huge thing for me. But looking back, I remember my Christmases for, I would say like the amount of money that my parents made, my Christmases were like pretty well off. Like they were pretty good. Like I would get at least one big gift every year. Like it'd be a Nintendo or a Game Boy and some games, and then like a ton of other cool stuff. And looking back, I'm like, wow, my parents didn't make a lot of money. Like my dad was a broke ass auto mechanic and my mom always worked in nursing homes that didn't pay well anyway. Like, so between the two of them, they maybe made 60 grand a year, and nowadays I make more than that. And I'm like looking at my budget for Christmas. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
All this stuff's expensive, man. And I fly through that budget real fast. And obviously, things cost more, but
yeah, I think I'm gonna start embracing Hanukkah, where you just, you
12 days of Christmas. That seems like it'd be more work.
Yeah, but you just give them like little chocolates every day. Like here's a Hershey's Kiss today. Congratulations.
12 or 9 for Hanukkah?
Not 12.
No, is it? It's not 12 days of Christmas.
No.
What is it? 9 days of Christmas?
No, it's not 9 days of Christmas. It's
I swear it's 12.
8. It's 8, I believe, for Hanukkah, and then you have
8 crazy nights.
You have the it's 9 candles, 8, whatever you have. I can't remember what the candle's called. You have a 9th candle. You use one candle to light the other candles.
Oh. Should have known that with the Adam Sandler song.
I forget. Adam's half Jewish.
Yep.
Wait, this Adam?
Yeah.
I'm not personally, but my family is.
Yeah. So he's got to do the whole Hanukkah stuff, I bet.
Yep.
Sweet. So he knows.
I know it all.
So I remember when I was a kid, like I said, my Christmases were pretty good, but the thing that I remember the most is waking up super, super early on Christmas Day. There was so much buildup and so much anticipation. And you know what? Like until I was probably 12 or 13, I never ever could figure out where these presents came from. So I was fully on board with the whole Santa thing, right? Till I was probably like 15 or something ridiculous. And then that's when I figured out where they were hiding presents at, right?
Yeah.
But before that, like looking back, I'm like, where in the hell did they hide these at? Because I remember my house as a kid, like we didn't have like secret rooms, like how did I not notice all these gifts, like where were they this whole time?
Yep.
That's something I struggle with now, like
What's that?
trying to figure out where to put them.
Don't you have an attic?
Yeah, but I really don't even want to look in there. I just pretend it doesn't exist.
Do you have a basement on your current house?
Yeah. So I hide them in storage totes and put other things on top of them
Mm.
to make it difficult to look inside. But as my kid gets older, she'll be able to navigate and climb up the racks and look in there. So I don't know. That plan's only going to work for the next year or two.
She is high energy.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me about it. That's been a difficult thing this year. My daughter, she's 8 years old, and she's, I don't know if this is common with 8-year-olds, but man, there's like at least 1 or 2 days a week where she's super good, super cute, listens to you, like, yeah, Dad, I'll clean my room. She helped me out. I come home from work. She's like, Dad, you need a back rub. You're doing so good. I love you, Dad. But then the other 5 days, it's like raising Hellboy. I'm like, this is awful. Like, she's just a shit, and like just doesn't listen, argues for everything. Like every single thing's an argument. Be like, hey, go take a shower, and it turns into like a 35-minute argument. I'm like, just take a shower, like the simplest things, like pick up your books, put your toys away, like just I don't know. Is it normal? Is that normal? You guys both have had 8-year-old. This is my first 8-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. Or it's a fight. Like they get real creative too. Where they're just, you give them a task to do, and instead of like, all right, for example, hey, please put away your clothing. Okay, I'm done, and then I'll go upstairs, and they will have hid every bit of clothing underneath their bed.
Yeah, but my daughter does that. She puts it right in the center of the bed and then puts a blanket over it. Like, I'm not going to notice. Like, Mount Denali is right on your bed now. Like, what is that over there? Nothing. Oh, is that nothing? Like, I don't understand what's underneath that blanket.
And they're not slick at all.
No,
they're not slick at all with the line. You know what I mean?
And like, I try to. My whole approach now is to try to motivate my daughter to want to do these things. So I'm trying the chore list. I'm trying the allowance thing. The reward system. And so my reward system consists of like, well, you can have TV or tablet time. Time with your electronics. And or allowance at the end of the week. So I have a allowance chart. It's really just like things you do on the daily. Pick up your dirty clothes, make your bed, brush your teeth without arguing. I forget, clean up your dishes, all these things, real simple stuff. But my God, like, to point these out halfway through the day, like, why are you getting out more toys? You have to put all these toys away at the end of the night. Like, and it just leads into this battle, this ordeal. Like, for example, last night, she got an early Christmas present in the mail, and it was like a magazine subscription. I was like, hey, this is for her. She can have it when she cleans up the living room and makes her bed and gets her chores done for the day. Simple little things. I'm not asking her to go out and like hand plow a field and like bring in stacks of hay or stuff that they did in 1800s. Nothing crazy. And man, there was probably 37 minutes of just whining and crying, and at the end of it, it was like a total of 12 minutes work. But a majority of that time was just whining and crying, and crying.
See, like I have good luck getting them to do stuff around, but I have a whole range of ages and kids, But like my wife, she'll get all pissed off because she'll be talking to them and asking them to ignore her. They completely ignore her for the longest period of time, And then she gets to the point where like, I need your help. And I'm like, I get up. All right, listen, you go in there, do this, you in there, do this. And then like within 3 minutes, it's like I have a house full of freaking indentured servants running around,
Man, I wish I could get that going, but my kid just lays on the ground and like, and the thing is before with this exact example of the whole like, hey, you got a new magazine subscription in the mail, or new magazine subscription, or I can't talk today, in the mail, here it is, but you got to get this done first. Before I even mentioned that, super good mood, she was just playing and being cool and content. Then I mentioned you can have this if you do X, Y, and Z. Then it was like just laying on the floor, rolling around, crying, like, I want it now. I can't have it. And like, no, you can't have it now. Like, what happened? Like, the shift in, like, I'm giving you the potential of being rewarded with something. All you got to do is like go make your bed. Like, is
She
it that
has
hard?
the typical 2020 mindset, right? Where
God damn.
everyone wants
Yeah.
they want everything without working for it. That's how it goes.
And now it needs to be
Right.
happen now. Like
Instant
my
gratification.
my son last night. I don't know what the fuck his problem was last night, but he's like, "Daddy, water now." I'm like, "What? Did that? I know that just didn't come out of your mouth."
Daddy water now.
I was like,
Does your son have a man bun already?
"Shut up."
He does, doesn't he?
No, not yet. But
Unless you're Jason Momoa, you shouldn't have a man bun.
I had a man bun.
Hmm.
Well,
So
I don't know what to say about that.
So no, what I was doing is I told you guys that my daughter has the trichotillomania, right, where she pulls her hair, her eyebrows, and her eyelashes out.
Yeah.
So at one point I was like, baby, let's see who can grow their hair the longest. So we basically started both with shaved heads, and it helped her. It helped her for a little bit. I mean, not like how she is now, like going up to the ranch and stuff up in Oklahoma, but she I mean, that was the reason why I had a man bun.
Yeah. I mean, that's an acceptable reason.
And then I donated it to Merkins of Love.
I mean, if I didn't have the Patrick Stewart sort of balding pattern, I'd probably have long hair, and it would eventually be a man bun as well.
Feels like I got a turtle shell.
Yeah, pretty much. It's real stupid. It's real stupid.
Guys with turtle shells need love too.
I should grow my beard out again. I was thinking about that the other day.
Someone was saying that they wanted to start a GoFundMe, so you actually fucking did.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of look like Hacksaw Jim Duggan with short hair.
Well, that's not cool. I don't want to be known as the handicap wrestler, the retarded wrestler.
All right, well then we'll step him up to Sergeant Slaughter's status, huh? How about
I
that?
could deal with that.
Yeah.
Even though he sounds like he's got a lisp, but he's still pretty cool.
Picky,
Better than
picky,
Hacksaw Jim
picky.
Duggan.
True.
It's like Hacksaw Jim Duggan is if you take a cool wrestler and then combine him with like somebody with Down syndrome and you like put them together. That's Hacksaw Jim Duggan, in my opinion.
I feel like Hacksaw Jim Duggan is a carpenter. Why is he carrying around a 2x4 all the time?
America. That's all you need to know.
Makes sense.
So back to Christmas. So you guys were talking about budgets briefly, for the kids, and so we always pick one big item, and then three smaller items. One something that they need, one some other small thing that they wanted, and then I don't know the other last rule, but we control the spending that way.
That's a good system.
Basically something educational, whether it be an educational board game, whether it be whatever. So then that way they what's that?
Hold on, guys. I gotta go investigate something. Somebody's downstairs ringing my doorbell at 9:00 in the morning.
No, you're fine. Oh, you're looking it up on your computer.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop my camera real quick.
Oh, okay. So who does your presents in your house, Adam? Is it your wife or is it you?
The last couple of years, it was mostly me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but here's the problem: I haven't done anything yet, and last year I was in the same boat where it's running around last minute. Actually, having to go to the store because I didn't have the foresight to. I don't know if I would say foresight. What is the right word? I just didn't put the time into it. You know what I mean? I didn't budget my time properly to order the gifts online. So, yep. And I'm going to be in the same boat this year.
Yeah, I was frantically ordering shit for my wife last night. So, I actually it was her birthday on the 15th. So I guess when women get above a certain age, they don't want your the numbers on the numbers don't go on the cake anymore. So after they hit 40, 'cause she just turned 41, I was like, I didn't buy any numbers because I didn't want to make you mad.
And then you handed her a gift card to a plus size lingerie store.
No, well, actually, no, I did really, really good. So she likes she smelled really nice the other day, and I was like, "What does that smell?" She's like, "Chanel No. 5." I was like, "Do you have that?" And she's like, "No." I was like, "She's I got it out of the magazine. You know, that's what I was using." So I had
And
a
you're like a poor person. You got it out of a magazine.
so I ended up buying her a bottle of that, and then I bought a whole bunch of funny gifts. Um, so I was in the candle section because usually what I'll do is I'll buy a whole bunch of bath stuff for her to, just relax and stuff. And then, one big item for me. And then we all, get her a card. And so I was in the candle aisle and I had an epiphany and I had a great idea for a joke that would have been funny. And so I got her a candle warmer, but I crossed out the word candle and put queso.
Very good.
So
like a fondue pot.
yeah, and then we went out to dinner.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm gonna just go on Amazon and get my wife one of those like skincare baskets or a girly, lotion basket or whatever, 'cause I don't know what to get anybody for Christmas really. Like my kid makes a list. That's super easy. My wife, I don't know her well enough to get her something for Christmas.
That's weird, right?
It's super weird.
You should know what you're gonna get me.
Mm-hmm.
Get her like a new vacuum or something.
But then like I get stuff for Christmas. I'm like, oh, look at it's all the stuff I don't really want or need.
That's how it goes, though.
Thanks. I get these shirts, like these odd fitting shirts that I like. I can never wear this in public.
Like the big square shirts where it's
where like the sleeves are like ballooned out bigger than they should be, and like the bottom is like a dress, and the collar is, I don't know, 3 foot wide. Like, oh, you guys know me so well. This is amazing. Yeah, it's a stark difference from Christmas when I was a kid, where I'm like, oh, everything is perfect. I love my life, and then I'm a dad, and I'm like, I have to like this stuff.
Oh, thanks. I got a Santa Claus tie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I haven't worn a tie in 17 years. But thanks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was really confused.
Cool.
I was confused. I thought you were talking about Ty Brenneman for a minute.
He's a cool dude.
No, I know, but
T.Y. Banana Man.
Yeah, well, the statement that you said.
It would be pretty cool to get Ty for Christmas.
Yeah, open up a box. He's just in there and he's handcuffed and gagged. Hey, I got you, Ty. I'm like, sweet. Get in the basement and put this lotion on your skin, Ty. Oh, man. Well, guys, you feel like wrapping it? Because I have to go downstairs and see who's in my house now.
Yeah, I'm broken. I'm going to try to get 5-minute nap before I go out for breakfast.
I got to
Good luck. Yeah, I got to go start running errands for the day. So, yeah.
Until next time, it's going to be after Christmas. Have a good one.
All right. See you guys then. Thanks for listening.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Kwanzaa. Bye.
Kwanzaa week.